Down in the south where the engines roar, Maconi's the name you can't ignore. We're the kings of the track, yeah, we run the show. Ain't nobody else that can come close. Maconi's the best. We light up the screen, blowing past the rest. It's a mean, mean machine. We take the crown, leave the others in the dust. Say it with me now, 'cause in Maconi we trust. We don't just talk, we walk the line. While the others choke, we shine, shine, shine. Turn up the heat, crank up the sound. Maconi's the force that shakes the ground. Maconi's the best. We light up the screen, blowing past the rest. It's a mean, mean machine. We take the crown, leave the others in the dust. Say it with me now, 'cause in Maconi we trust. Let them try, let them fight, they can't compete. Maconi's the fire, can't stand the heat. We're rolling thunder, we're lightning fast. We're the future, they're stuck in the past. To the last lap, Maconi's the name they can't unwrap. We're the voice, the speed, the southern pride. With Maconi, you know we ride or die. Maconi's the best. We light up the screen, blowing past the rest. It's a mean, mean machine. We take the crown, leave the others in the dust. Say it with me now, 'cause in Maconi we trust. Yeah, you know what to say, 'cause in Maconi we trust. We're the kings of the broadcast. In Maconi we trust.
Flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. fish in the sea. You know how I feel. River running free. You know how I feel. Lost someone that's drinking on me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new
Hey everybody, Patrick here with GoatLocker Racing. We got the truck loaded up, getting ready to head north up to Muncie, Indiana. About an hour and a half drive. Get this sim rig in the hands of Josh Unger, our newest veteran that has joined the GoatLocker Racing family. Can't wait to get it in his hands. Folks, we just pulled up, so let's get this thing delivered. Alrighty, that was a whole lot of fun. Got the sim rig dropped off to Josh. He's as excited as could be. Got to meet his two boys, his wife, and everything. He's gonna get everything set up and ready to race. So congratulations again, Josh. Welcome to the GoatLocker Racing family, and thanks to everybody that makes this happen. I want to give a special shout out to the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs and the grant they gave us to make this happen. INVETS, you guys are awesome. You are the ones that helped us identify this veteran and so many more. So stay tuned. We got more sim rigs rolling out, and be sure to follow us on all the social media and head over to our website, www.goatlocker.org. Take care.
Live from Richmond Raceway, it is the GoatLocker Racing INVETS Truck Series. Sunday, it's playoff Sunday. Week 12 of 15 is being contested here in Richmond, Virginia. It's race number 2 in the round of 12, and 4 drivers will be eliminated from playoff contention after tonight. I'm Dylan Coyle, joined alongside Jeremy Briggs, DJ Lyon in the production booth here on Maconi Entertainment. Michael McCarthy opened up the round of 12 with a victory in dramatic fashion at Michigan International Speedway last Sunday. And before we go on our Thanksgiving break, we will figure out who the 8 drivers will be to move on to the round of 8. Jeremy, it's been a fun ride to this point. You see McCarthy is the only one locked in as long as he competes in tonight's event. David Duke might be the driver on the outside looking in. Even though he's a regular season champion, he did not show up last weekend, but did get a waiver.
Drivers luckily getting a waiver right there, but like you said, this is the cutoff race. Outside looking in, David Duke obviously really good overall. We'll have to see if he can continue to keep his playoff hopes alive tonight along with other drivers. So we take a look at Richmond track information right here. It's the good old 3/4 of a mile, 14-degree banked of Richmond, Virginia Raceway. And it's the Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia, excuse me.
14 degrees of banking, like you said, and with it being a 3/4 mile racetrack, it does have its fair share of traffic. Tonight, we might be seeing a good amount of traffic because according to our timing screens, 26 drivers will be either setting down qualifying laps or coming from the back of the field for tonight's event to get going here. We do have live race control, so that will be something to keep in mind if we have any incidents tonight. And let's talk a little bit about the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Jam Printing and Promotions is from Plainfield, Indiana, and we're local, we're veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with GoatLocker Racing since the very beginning and provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they are sponsoring the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award across all GoatLocker Racing series this season. We're just around 30 seconds away from being able to talk about the starting grid tonight, Jeremy, and from what we're seeing, it looks like provisionally David Duke's going to be there.
David Duke looking to grab that Jam Printing Promotions Award, Pole Award. See if he can lock himself into the next round with a victory. Going to have a lot of trucks on the track, like you said, tonight for 100 laps on this 3/4 mile track. A lot can happen trying to make it around those lap trucks. Going to have to figure out how to get around them because that is your job as the lapper.
Well, as we look at the starting grid for tonight's race under the lights here in the GLR INVETS Trucks Series, it will be David Duke on pole position as we wait for the final positions to be named. Michael McCarthy, last week's winner, will be started alongside him on row 1. Jeremy Gardner in the second row on the inside, Benjamin Stevens alongside him, Andy Kurtz, Lucas Lyons, your front 3 rows. In 7th is Tyler Justice, Chance Taylor, Brett Bieber, and Johnny Cofield round out the top 10 starters. George Jewell, James Kaufman just outside the top 10 in the 22-second flat range. Brandon Wallace, Travis Bieber, and Kyle Deering, your top 15. Alongside Deering in the Chevy is Cliff Adams, Colton Lanford, and Charles Abert, your top 9 rows tonight. Bobby Germain, Kadorian Davis round out your top 20. Craig Bontrager, Tommy Lemley, Cameron Wessenberg, and Scott Gilroy, rows 12. And 2 drivers to not set qualifying times. Andrew Player, Jeremiah Holt will most likely take the green flag. We're just waiting on a couple more drivers to load into the session before we get going here. It's 78 degrees in the air, 80 degrees on track. Not necessarily the warmest, obviously, it's under the lights, but compared to some other night races we've had this season, this is one of the warmer race sessions, only 2-mile-per-hour winds. 100 laps tonight with 1 fast repair available to all of these drivers, so if they are involved in an incident, especially early on, and maybe it's not enough to necessitate a fast repair, perhaps they consider holding it as a mulligan for later on. All these drivers in fixed setups, and we do have the potential for 2 green-white checker record restarts, 2 NASCAR overtimes if we get there in this GLR playoff event. Pace car is rolling. We'll be in this pace session from the pace truck, I should say, for 2 laps. Duke and McCarthy will lead us to the green. And what are you hoping to see tonight, Jeremy?
Well, I'm hoping to see what I see each and every week out of these drivers here in the GoatLocker Racing League, and that is going to be some great racing. Playoff hopes going into the next round are going to be on the line tonight. I hope to see some clean racing, but maybe some bumpers. We'll see if these drivers can keep their tempers in check as we got 100 laps here on the board.
100 laps here for sure. I see the pace lights may have been off on the truck in front, but continues to stay on track. So we will go for that second and final pace lap. Excited to see the action here. Lots of drivers all contesting to make it into the next round. We'll have some driver cams all night. Colton Lanford from that MetaQuest 3 machine is going to bring us his view on board that 25. George Jewell as well in the dark, but the only light source illuminates his eyes, and the focus will definitely be on display tonight as they start to get out of this 1.5 lap crawl, just a half lap before we go green flag racing here. Lap times will be quick. These drivers will be desperate, and somebody like Duke, can he walk off into the round of 8 with a victory? Green flag in the air. We are underway. 100 laps under the lights.
Looks like lap 1 is going to be clean and green to start finish line. David Duke's going to be our leader, but there's going to be a battle, and I spoke too soon. There is the yellow.
Yellow is out. We got through 1 lap. The 32 may have been up against the wall, and it did not take long for that caution to come out. Doesn't appear to be much melee or damage. Let's see, coming around the back stretch, the 32 goes high, gets a little bit squirrely on quarter entry. Does he just loop it? Oh, look in front. The 97, I think, of Cofield was slow, but the caution came out for something in this battle. We'll see here, the 97 off the hood of Bieber, a very quick 360, and that brings out the caution. No damage pretty much to anybody.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of fender damage. Should be able to get that repaired from the Lincoln Tech pit crews down there if he decides to come down pit road and get it taken care of. Looks like no other drivers severely involved, just a lot of evasive action, trying to avoid it. Looks like Cofield might have just clipped the apron there. It might have opened up the door for Bieber right there, and unfortunately, just not enough room.
Not enough room whatsoever, but no harm, no foul. It was just a clean 360, and this should be a quickie caution. Nothing too difficult. Before we get back to green flag racing, let's talk a little bit about INVETS. INVETS, of course, is the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series. Tonight, it's founded by veterans for veterans, aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. And they are a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to the state to live and work. We appreciate all INVETS does. And let's also give a shout out to Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses and the title sponsor of the Fall Series, a very large partner of GLR. With that being said, if you want to get involved in GoatLocker Racing, help some actions that they take. Of course, GoatLocker Racing is a 501c3. You can go to goatlockerracing.org/donate, and as a contributor to GoatLocker Racing Inc., well, make sure your donation goes directly towards supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders. We thank you for your generosity. Green flag about to come back out with 95 laps to go, 6 laps complete in this race, and David Duke brings us back to racing action with a good jump down the inside. Everyone storms into turn 1. We'll see if they can do it cleanly as 3 trucks try to make it work 3 wide in a 1 and 2. It goes back to just 2 wide racing.
These drivers right now doing a great job making that 3 wide racing work through these turns, getting everything sorted out as everybody's just trying to jump and get into a good position to drive to the front. You can see right here as we watch the number 17 of Lucas Lyons try to get around the number 3 of Michael McCarthy as they battling just inside the top 10. Top 5. It looks like the James Koff machine got a little loose off of turn 2. Got to gather back up, but losing several positions here, completing lap number 7.
Oh man, that 10 machine got a little bit tight and lost momentum going down this curved front stretch. Helps a little bit because he does have that inside lane. The 25 of Lanford gets tight. The 99 of Wallace is around. Turned, staring straight at, is that the 32 truck? It appears to be 98 actually. So we're under caution for the second time here tonight. Cliff Adams staring directly at Brandon Wallace, and let's see what happened here, Jeremy.
As we take a look at our Maconi Entertainment replay, got the 114 right there, but oh, looks like the 98, oh, just to the outside of the 99 of Wallace. Looks like Adams was just kind of already up against the wall. See if we can grab another angle to see if maybe Brandon Wallace might have came out. We'll have a good shot right here as you're right on board with the 99 of Brandon Wallace. Comes off of turn 2, just not enough room and just kind of bounced right off of him.
Yeah, not enough room whatsoever. So a couple lazy looking incidents, not from hard racing, but just maybe a lack of concentration from a few drivers early in the going here. We're just about 10% of the way through this race. Wallace will bring it down into the pits. Drivers have a 60% fuel tank, should just need 1 stop around that middle point to make it easily till the end of this race. We'll see exactly how that is worked out. We saw in previous races here at Richmond with 100% fuel tanks. I mean, you can make it easily on fuel, and if you can save those tires, that's the quickest way to get to the checkered flag. But it kind of helps, right? You know pit strategy is not going to be that big of a factor in this race unless there's a lot of oddly timed cautions.
Exactly it there, Dylan. Waiting to see how the race plays out so they can figure out when they want to take that pit stop. Like you said, they are going to have to make 1 pit stop minimum to see if tire wear becomes a factor, as we've only got a few laps here under green so far. We're now on lap number 10, or 10 completed on the board. David Duke, Jeremy Gardner, still leading the way up there, 1 and 2.
1 and 2 for sure, as Duke doesn't have to win to make it, unless, let me rephrase that. It depended on how many playoff drivers came into this race. It's pretty much now win and you move on, finish second or worse, and doesn't matter because the point situation is not going to be in your favor to overtake 4 drivers, I should say, to make it into the round of 8. Regardless, though, he looks fast, he's got speed, and he has led the opening 11 laps of this race. Yes, with 2 caution periods, but he has had the speed to back it up. And as long as those tires are allowed to go through a good stint, a good lengthy stint, I think no one else is going to be able to save as much as him. And just got word that it is a win and in scenario for David Duke. So nothing other than a win will get him in, and green flag. Duke takes off again. We're back underway with the third restart tonight.
As they barrel down the backstretch here, David Duke has no easier plan than just to win. Doesn't get any easier than that. You just got to go out there and be the first one to see that checkered flag. The number 78 wants to do that as this restart gets underway. He gets out to a pretty sizable lead. It looks like the first, I believe, 8 or 9 trucks are trying to get single file. It was like the top 10 now single file. Everybody trying to get this underway.
All these trucks just trying to jossie for position in the back, and caution once again. They were doing so well for a stretch of races, but now it looks like with the bigger field, another issue for Brandon Wallace. So we'll have to see. He's restarted in the back of this field in 25th position, and that looks like a little bit of front end damage right there. Wallace with the second caution he's been involved in tonight, way up high. He's racing alongside Kendorian Davis, and that is Wallace just completely losing it and going into Davis. Davis, a really solid job to not go up into the wall. I mean, that's a playoff scenario that could go easily against Kendorian with the way this race has started for him. Now, of course, Brandon Wallace is only 4 points to the good coming into this race, and involved in 2 cautions is not a good way to get yourself into that next round.
Looks like just a couple incidents here coming off of turn 2. Dylan, it might be, I'm not sure from a driver's perspective, if maybe the coming out of turn 4 and having that banking kind of gives you that false narrative when you're coming out of turn 2, because it's so flat that you can gas it up a little bit more than you can. And I feel like maybe these drivers got a little bit too much wheel when they're gassing it up coming off of turn 2, because they're used to that banking coming off of turn 4. But we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm not sure if he had maybe some fresh tires right there that maybe have made him loose, but nonetheless, looks like everybody's back underway and still on the track.
Yeah, and that's a pretty solid point there with the difference in corner exits from turn 2 and turn 4. Obviously, it can be a little bit deceiving, but at the same time, he had a lot of room, and I think that's more so. It wasn't that he got tight. So he had a lot of room to go up to the wall and tried to gas it up early. He just gassed it up a little bit too hard. So I don't think it was anything with the banking. I think he just had colder tires and revved it up pretty high, and it led to that spin for him. Here's a story we haven't talked about at all this season. David Duke and Lucas Lyons are right now first and second place in this race. Those two have been going at it all season on track, and it's fun to see.
Even though I missed a couple of those first races here coming in, I think probably mid-season, watching these two drivers of David Duke and Lucas Lyons battle it out week in and week out is always a great storyline. It almost makes you feel a little bit weird when David Duke does not make the race like he did last week. So I felt like there was something missing, but right now David Duke back on the track. Playoff hopes on the line. Has only one mission tonight, and that is to win his way into the next round. We're going to have 82 laps to go when we come to the green. The pace truck lights are off. This is going to be a good restart.
Still every driver on the lead lap of this race, even though we've had 3 cautions in the opening 17 laps of it. Going to come back to the green with 82 remaining. David Duke flies ahead. Lucas Lyons on the outside doesn't let him get too far away. The best restart by a driver on the outside so far tonight. Jeremy Gardner cannot get down the inside of Lyons, and now Lyons goes on the attack.
Lucas Lyons giving David Duke a mirrorful as we watch McCarthy right there, the number 3 battle out with Chance Taylor right there, fourth and fifth, with Brett Bieber looking on, trying to get to the outside of these drivers. Is the 48 right there of Andy Kurtz, was trying to get the inside of Bieber. Everybody seems to be getting it figured out right now. We'll see if we get a couple laps in here.
We will certainly see. Lyons very loose on the exit of the corner. Again, it's a colder you know, it's not really the coldest track, but it's not like these tires are going to be, you know, the easiest to kind of deal with to get back up to temperature. You know, there's a sweet spot you want to work within to get the tires to grip to the asphalt. The easiest, Benjamin
24.
Stevens. He slides, he breaks down to the infield, and no caution. He did not spin. He will have to get back through the field from the back of the pack, and that looked very reminiscent of if he had shifted incorrectly.
Wild moment there out of turn 4 for the number 24 of Benjamin Stevens, but still green flag on the track. Did a great job avoiding everything, especially sliding to that grass like he did, avoiding that infield wall. Could have ended his night, or at least having to have him use that first fast repair. As we got one truck coming down the pit road. Is that Lucas Lyons?
It is Lucas Lyons, a black flag being handed to Lyons. We'll have to hear exactly what it is for, and he will leave the session. Lyons out of the race. Was it a restart violation?
That would be my only guess. We will have to find out from race control what happened there, as it looks like Lucas Lyons went to serve the penalty and decided to call it a night.
Well, that is definitely something that David Duke will be happy about. Lucas Lyons has been his most prevalent competitor throughout the races that Duke has competed in this season, and that will make it just a little bit easier to achieve the goal that he is looking for to win this race and go in. So we're hearing that it was not a live race control penalty, it was an iRacing issued penalty. So the server issued it. Nothing was mentioned over comms. So I think there's a bit of confusion, and maybe we'll be able to tell you next time we're on air in 2 weeks' time.
As we get back to this action there on the track, you got Tyler Justice right there and the number 33 right in front of George Jewell in that white and blue number 36 machine. The Veterans for Life Foundation on the right side of that machine, all over the back bumper of Tyler Justice. They are just inside the top 10. This is for 8th and 9th.
Look at that focus from George Jewell here tonight. Jewell, he is in a playoff spot. He is up by 5 points coming into the night. And if Duke wins, Duke will leapfrog him. Jewell will then only be 4 points to the good, and he'll be racing around many drivers, including Tyler Justice, Brandon Wallace, Johnny Cofield, Benjamin Stevens, James Kaufman, and Chance Taylor. Of course, a couple of those drivers have already had issues in the racing tonight. Andrew Player is also in second place. He's the leading points getter from last weekend that did not win the race, but he is struggling right now, back in 22nd place. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to miss out on the next round, given his performance last week. But with him being a plus 13 or plus 14 points to the good, that's 14 positions, it's not outside the realm of possibility that something bad could happen if he wrecks out or stays there all night.
Andrew Player mentioned last week in his interview that he hated coming to Richmond, and unfortunately it looks like it's showing right there as he's on the outside of the top 20. As we look right here for this battle between Bobby Germain, Colton Lanford. Oh, looks like Germain got the wall. James Kaufman trying to get inside as well.
Yeah, he definitely got into the wall right there. Bobby Germain not racing for a playoff spot in the round of 8. He just purely wants to win this race and race as well as he can, but he is fighting now for 13th. Lanford clears him down the inside, and look at that. James Kaufman has a very low entry because he got loose out of the corner.
Got a few green flag laps under our belt now, knock on wood, as these drivers are starting to figure out that turn 2 is extremely treacherous right now in traffic. We'll see if they can handle it. It is just, I feel like it's just so hard on these right rears. The update to these trucks on iRacing has made the racing so much more realistic. Wow. As the 98 was extremely sideways of Cliff Adams going into turns 3 and 4 as he's the inside of Colton Lanford.
My goodness. This is racing at Richmond under green flag conditions, and that's exactly what we like to see. Look at that, a late entry by the 98 of Cliff Adams into the corner. Almost spooked Lanford, who gives him a bit more space, Adams does. Those two drivers side by side. The banking is helping the 25 stay competitive in this battle on the outside, but for how long?
What will happen to the 98 of Cliff Adams as well? Will his right rear get too hot trying to make that pass on the inside and maybe have to let the 25 of Lanford go, who seems like you said almost a preferred lane, having that momentum on the exits? We'll see if Lanford maybe finds some speed as all the truck in front of him, the 30 of Tommy Lemley up there in 12th, right there behind Cameron Westenberg. Excuse me, behind Kyle Deering. Very close for Tommy Lemley not spinning out.
Michael McCarthy right now running in 6th. He is enjoying the moment here. He does not have to do anything to advance into the next round. He's just got to prep for 2 weeks from now, which will be at Iowa. So 2 short tracks in a row before we get back to bigger tracks. It's a weird round of 8, Iowa and Pocono. That's setting up, of course, the championship race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but not in its current super speedway form, in the 2000s and 2010s form.
McCarthy right there, you can see him really loose on the exits. Got his hands full, he's got lots of pressure there from Travis Bieber in that 114 Valvoline. Kyle Larson looked like giving him all sorts of pressure, trying to get one more spot.
Oh, dive into the corner for the 114 of Bieber. Ooh. He knew he was going way too hot into the corner and just kept the wheel straight, ran up the banking, lost some time and momentum, and now Tyler Justice is trying to get all over the back of that 114 Valvoline machine.
I'm extremely surprised to see these drivers having such, I would say, loose conditions on exit, but with an 80-degree track temperature for night. That, like you said earlier in the broadcast, that is a little bit higher than normal. Might be giving these drivers a little bit more than what they expected, as we're right on here with the number 97 of Johnny Cofield. Right now in 19th, has an incident early on, was all the way back to last place. Trying to work his way back up to the front. You can see Brandon Wallace back there in the 99 right in front of him. And 18th, trying to make his way back to the front. Oh, Cofield extremely loose off of turn 2.
Lots of drivers struggling out of turn 2. Not the first time we've seen Cofield have some extracurricular happenings that he did not want to deal with. He continues charging onwards. Brandon Wallace again, right in behind this battle between Kaufman and Germain. Oh, Germain got loose, took Kaufman into the outside wall, and then Wallace into the inside retaining wall. Kendorian Davis involved. No one turned. We're still green. That is some massive playoff implications. Yellow flag has now been thrown. Goodness me. I don't know how Wallace got involved in the way he did. Huge hit for Kendorian Davis. I mean, these are playoff lives at stake.
So much drama off of turn 2 tonight. Oh, looks like Kaufman, I couldn't tell from that angle. It was Wallace, either a little bit of net code right there, just caught the right side of that truck and just unfortunately sent him hard to the left. and caught that kink in that wall and just sent him right back up the track, and Cofield nowheres to go.
My goodness. What a wild way to pretty much end the playoff hopes for tons of these drivers. I mean, those were some massive hits. I guess the one thing is they do have a mulligan, right? So let me not jump so quickly to conclusion. They have that fast repair, and if they can get the truck down to pit road without having to tow, which they should be able to do, it should be fine. Johnny Cofield trying to speed on by. Oh, man, that's a jump scare and a half.
I mean, I don't know what else he could have done there, but the yellow flag wasn't out, so you're going until you see a yellow flag. But under this yellow flag, speaking of the devil, the whole field came down pit road. It looks like everybody took 4 tires and fuel.
It certainly appears that way. So some drivers trying to play the long game, some drivers just going with different tire allotments, but everyone has made a stop down pit road, and David Duke has led them out. Jeremy Gardner in behind. Chance Taylor will restart in third. A couple more caution laps before we get going here again.
Under this yellow flag, we'll see if we can speak with the driver. See if there's one laying around. But we'll see if we can do it on the next caution, as it looks like we might be coming around to the 1 to go signal. Let's see if the pace truck lights get extinguished this time, as we will have 52 laps to go next time around, or this time, and the pace truck lights stayed on, of course. We'll pace around one more time, I believe, and come to the green.
Well, as this group of drivers continues pacing, and a lot of that is now because we have drivers on track that are at least 1 lap down, and some that are off track. Brandon Wallace is 5 laps down. That's pretty much his playoff hopes over. Brandon Wallace came into this race with a 4-point cushion, and that's not going to do it for him whatsoever. Kendorian Davis 1 lap down. Bobby Germain 1 lap down. Kendorian Davis, you know, he's, as long as he can get back onto that lead lap, that's going to help him out a lot. But in terms of Brandon Wallace's playoff hopes, it's going to take a miracle and a prayer of incredible proportions for him not to miss the next round. So pace lights are off on the pace truck, and we're about to go green with exactly halfway through this race. 50 laps remaining, and will it be a straight fight to the checker? Jeremy Gardner on the outside, not a playoff driver either, but he could potentially get a win if he plays his cards right. That's not a good restart, though, and Duke flies away from him.
Charging down the backstretch out of turn 2 for these truck drivers, as we are now at the halfway mark. Ironically, you said the restart with Lucas Lyons was really good, and I believe he got a penalty for that. So I believe the pace speed for that car on the outside might be a little bit lower, and the restarts might really be favoring that leader. But down the backstretch, you can see that number 42 truck not letting that 78 of David Duke get too far away.
Oh, McCarthy pinching Tyler Justice down the inside. Justice got loose on acceleration. Great save. But for a driver that is in the playoff hunt and is fighting at that cut line, that's not what he wants to be doing over halfway through this race. 3 trucks all snaking down the backstretch in behind. It's for a spot in the top 14. And Benjamin Stevens in 16th is fighting alongside with Johnny Cofield. A bunch of drivers who have said Richmond is not the track that they feel most comfortable at. Lanford slid through middle of corner 1 and 2, and that almost led to catastrophe with he and Cameron Wessenberg.
Wow. These drivers are doing everything they can right now to make as much time, but they definitely have their hands full. I feel like if we just had a camera sitting on turn 2, on the exit of turn 2, at least one truck every lap is getting just a little bit loose and having their hands full. This is some great racing here. And we got a good green flag run right there. I think we've got it sorted out with 23 drivers still with a chance to win this race. Excuse me, 23 drivers still on the track. It looks like 21 still on the lead lap. Getting out of the race right now might severely end your playoffs hopes.
Even just running in the back, look at that, a slide through the corner, and the 114 does not get hit, but he stops on track. Caution is out. Another incident with Travis Bieber getting involved. He just slid on his own through 3 and pushed the brakes, so he slides a little bit out of 2. His tires are heated up. No, Tommy Lemley actually threw his truck into the 114. Great job from Bieber of slowing it down and getting on the brakes, and great job by everybody else in behind to not hit him. Lemley is just flying into the corner, and, well, I can think of 28 or 3 reasons that was not a good move. We're going to take a quick break on Maconi Entertainment. You're watching some INVETS Truck Series racing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hey everybody, Patrick here with GoatLocker Racing. We got the truck loaded up, getting ready to head north up to Muncie, Indiana. About an hour-and-a-half drive. Get this sim rig in the hands of Josh Unger, our newest veteran that has joined the GoatLocker Racing family. Can't wait to get it in his hands. Folks, we just pulled up, so let's get this thing delivered. Alrighty, that was a whole lot of fun. Got the sim rig dropped off to Josh. He's as excited as could be. Got to meet his 2 boys, his wife, and everything. He's gonna get everything set up and ready to race. So congratulations again, Josh. Welcome to the GoatLocker Racing family, and thanks to everybody that makes this happen. I want to give a special shout out to the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs and the grant they gave us to make this happen. INVETS, you guys are awesome. You are the ones that helped us identify this veteran and so many more. So stay tuned. We got more sim rigs rolling out, and be sure to follow us on all the social media and head over to our website, www.goatlocker.org. Take care.
Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment is your home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. Subscriptions are available for as low as $8 per month. It's the official setup shop of eNASCAR and the official series sponsor of the NASCAR C-Fixed Series. Visit MaconiSetupShop.com. And of course, Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs bringing you the action on Maconi Entertainment, INVETS Trucks Series Racing, GoatLocker Racing League, and it is race 2 in the round of 12, and we're back to green flag racing at Richmond with 38 laps to go to figure out who will be the 4 drivers eliminated. Some cautions already in this race. We'll see if we can get a good run to the end. Something tells me, though, that there will be more desperation seeping in.
And if you're looking at this field up at the front, not noticing the number 42 of Jeremy Gardner, who was running in second before we went to break, he went down pit road trying to do other strategy. It looks like no other drivers unfortunately followed him. He is the first truck on fresh tires right now, running in 16th.
Oh, the 42 gets into the back of the 97, slides on the apron in 3 and 4, but saves it, gets back up on track. You got to be careful you don't hit that retaining barrier in front of that pit wall. That always is a concern if you're sliding down there, and they almost did. And there is a caution now on track. Something has happened. Is it the 42? Or is it Scott Gilroy? Yes, it is. In the 04 machine has slid down the backstretch. And this is welcome news for Kendorian Davis, who will get his lap back courtesy of the free pass. Let's take a look at what happened here.
CC got Gilroy turn 2 once again, strikes. Unfortunately, Gilroy just got bit by that monster.
Oh man, the 114, another incident. This one, again, I wouldn't say it's his fault, but he's just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, it happens really quick when you're trying to get a good run on that truck in front of you and they get loose and you're already pretty much full throttle.
So Tommy Lemley actually got an EOL in the last restart. This restart will be an EOL for the 04 of Scott Gilroy. Let's take another look. Gilroy just slides up, and he tried to throttle up to get the tires to slip more towards that inside wall coming off the corner exit. Obviously didn't work well for him. The 114 machine driven by Travis Bieber was brought down pit road for some damage repair. And now, I mean, you look at it this way, no one's going to try and take chances when it comes to tire strategy, because you're not necessarily sure you're going to have the amount of time on track to put that strategy to work, given the fact that there have been so many caution periods in this race.
It's extremely hard to pass other trucks when you're just pacing around. Like you said, right now taking tires could be detrimental to your race and or your championship hopes. As we had Jeremy Gardner, who was running in second, you could see was trying to make his way back towards the field, now back in 18th. Unfortunately, that strategy seemed to not be working out, as we got just over 30 laps to go. This race is winding down very quickly now.
Take a look at that 49 INVETS truck with Lincoln Tech on that driver side and passenger side rear quarter panel, and Craig Bontrager has gained 15 positions in this race, slowly moving his way through the field. It has not been a swap of strategy. He has just been doing this with his own pace, and it has been quite impressive to see, as we'll get to a restart with most likely 30 laps remaining. If we get through a green flag run, I think Bontrager can probably compete for the podium, if not a little bit more. Just send it, man. Just send it. Maconi Entertainment.
See if he can find himself on the podium. Grab an interview. See how that plays out. We will see if the pace truck lights get turned off this time. They do. We'll have 30 laps to go when they come back to the green. We were talking about INVETS and all that earlier with GoatLocker Racing. One thing I really enjoy about GoatLocker Racing is how they give back to the real world community, and champion Joey Logano said something in his championship speech, about, we're silly going in circles, but it's nice to give back to the community around you, and that's one thing I think GoatLocker really pushes.
Pace lights are off on the pace truck with now 30 laps to go when we get back to green flag racing here. David Duke still the leader in this race. He has led every single lap, and he leads this lap. We're back to green flag racing. Will Duke pull off the win and move into the round of 8?
Taylor and Bieber side by side down the backstretch for position number 2, and they're side by side as well as McCarthy and Kurtz battling side by side for the top 5.
Yeah, this is a good battle going on in the top 5. Look at that wiggle right there from Andy Kurtz. My goodness, it could have been disastrous for he and everyone around him. Both Brett Bieber and Chance Taylor side by side. Chance Taylor came into this race 3 points below the cut line. A win would be perfect for him to make it into the next round. So don't put it away completely yet. Caution is out. For another time in this race. And Bobby Germain is around, gets back going again. Oh, was that Colton Lanford as well?
Take a look at this replay. Look, James Kaufman right there looks like he might have been loose on the exit turn 2 once again. Tried to save it. Oh, happened in front of him with the 33 and the 97 of Kaufman right there in front. I'll take another look at the replay. The 33 of Tyler Justice right there in front.
Lemley, Johnny Cofield, those two. Cofield just slides way up, and this is a bigger incident than we initially thought. Cofield is, again, one of those drivers we've seen in a fair few incidents tonight, and oh, look at that. Kaufman slides down to the apron. Cofield 3 wide into the corner. If they were 3 wide here, how would he have even considered making the corner? He didn't make it with 2 wide. Just pushed way too tight and never tried to save it, it seemed. It's a big mess.
Happening pretty quick here, too, especially at Richmond for having big incidents like that. But these drivers driving really hard, trying to get everything they can on these restarts, especially with the laps winding down. It just happens really quick. You saw the number 7 truck there, Charles Abbott, involved as well. Getting spun. Just everybody trying to avoid it. Oh, good job there by Colton Lanford to stop there when he's getting spun around. Looks like nobody came down pit road from the front. Looks like they are set in their ways, as we reported earlier. So many cautions here back to back to back. It's kind of making it difficult to make that decision to come down pit road and lose all that track position for just some fresh tires for a quick little shootout here to the end. As David Duke has just been driving away with these drivers out back for 2nd through 5th, just battling side by side every lap. It's been kind of almost a Sunday night drive here for the number 78 of David Duke.
Yeah, Duke has it's just been a practice in good restarting for him tonight. Nothing has usurped his superiority in this race. Let's talk a little bit about that scheme he's got going on here, and more the color scheme. Really a big fan of it. If you're a classic Wawa fan, which does have locations in Richmond, Virginia, that is a classic Wawa color scheme right there. That's all I'm saying.
Where I'm from, I don't see too many Wawas. I think when I make the trip to Dover is when I'm seeing the Wawas from where
Absolutely.
I'm at.
And if you go to Dover, you will see a lot of Wawas, my friend. It's always a wonderful thing. I miss Wawa as a resident of just outside Philadelphia. but now living just outside of Charlotte, we don't have any Wawas down here in the South. We do have Culver's. We do have Cookout. I need Wawa. I need Wawa. It is the holidays, though, so I'll be traveling home in a few weeks, and we hope everyone has a safe American Thanksgiving and whatever you celebrate in the month of December. Green flag back out in the air, 23 laps to go now. A good restart again from Duke, but also the 808 and the 14 machine get off to some good fires.
As that 808 of Brett Bieber is going to prevail and find himself in the second place as Chance Taylor right there in the number 14, kind of finding himself now in the clutches of the number 48 of Andy Kurtz. As we look there, oh, we got another yellow on the track.
Oh
Excuse
boy,
me.
it's the 97 again, Johnny Cofield. What happened this time? And that's a lot of damage onto that left rear, or left front fender. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Oh, looks like the 18 of player was loose coming off of turn 4, and Cofield with just a monster run just happened very quick.
Yeah, that happened very, very quickly.
Let's
All
see how
these drivers.
player got
Whoa, yeah.
sideways. Let's see. Oh, he was down on the
What?
apron for some reason.
Yeah, I have no idea what Andrew Player was doing right there. And Player, remember, was that driver we were talking about way earlier on that was in an uncomfortable position, being second, first in points if you don't count McCarthy. What is he doing?
Not sure if he was having some type of tactical error that led to that, but very uncharacteristic. A little wiggle right there off of turn 2, and it just kind of just stayed low for some reason.
Bam! That is
Definitely did not expect that car to be spun around. It just kept coming up the track very quickly.
Man, that is
I say
a
car, I mean truck, man.
man. You know, it
Man.
it happens a lot. We've been under caution a lot in this race, so a little bit of you know, man, cars, all that stuff. It's okay. We get it. We understand the deal here. Stock trucks, stock cars.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it. A stock truck, yeah.
Stock car? I mean, I guess stock car is still the applicable word. I don't know. You wouldn't call a race truck.
Okay, yep, that works.
I don't know if I've heard race truck be a very said line, but I'll allow it for now. Our producer is trying to take credit for telling us race truck when we were trying to avoid talking race truck. So now he sighs. We have fun here at Maconi Entertainment. And where is that rear spoiler with the Maconi Entertainment logo?
And speaking of fun, though, David Duke, he's definitely having a fun night, especially when he only has that one task of having to win this race. I believe this is the 49 that we're riding on board with.
It is Craig Bontrager.
Entertainment.
Just
Spoiler.
send it, man. Just send it.
Love it.
And
Love
a
it.
lot of drivers have been just sending it into the corner in this race, and that has led to a lot of cautions and a lot of problems for a lot of drivers tonight. So we'll go green with 17 laps to go. Some playoff drivers have had major issues. Brandon Wallace, 24th out of the race. Johnny Cofield now 23rd. Cofield was on the cut line. If it does not appear like he's going to have a chance, especially if Duke wins this race, Cofield will automatically go below the cut line, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to gain spots over anybody. We'll have to see how it all plays out and shakes out. Green flag back out in the air, 17 to go. And where have we talked about this before? Side by side for second, Brett Bieber and Chance Taylor. If Taylor wants this race to stay green, go green for the rest of the way, because he wants a chance to win this race and potentially win his way into the round of 8. I just don't see anybody being able to beat Duke.
A lot of drivers once again. Oh, having trouble coming out of turns. That was the 36 of George Jewell finding himself now close to the inside wall off of turn 4.
That might be a playoff ender for George Jewell. Why is he? Sometimes drivers just need to catch that machine before trying to gain an extra 100th on the edge of the corner, because now he needs a caution to have any shot probably of making it into the next round of the playoffs. He was running in the top 10 easily, and he was only 5 points up on the cut line. That could be out of the playoffs in that one mistake.
As we look right there at the 42, trying to make his march back to the front as they're taking some differentiating pit strategies, finds himself right now in 5th place. Jeremy Gardner battling his way back through the field. I believe he's got at least 12 lap fresher tires. As we get another yellow on the track, this will be perfect for Jeremy Gardner.
And it's also going to be perfect for George Jewell, as Charles Abert, who has been very quiet in this race, has gone around in that yellow 7. And we'll get another restart here. A lot of cautions in this race. And Jim Kaufman on the inside. Coming out of the corner, middle groove for Abert. He got way loose, got up into Kaufman. Bobby Germain hits Abert, and Abert stops on track. Caution comes out. Kind of a chain reaction right there, but Abert definitely started it.
Everybody's driving extremely hard here towards the end of these races, especially here in a cut-off race. Just gassed up a little too much right there. Oh, turn 2. I feel like if we had a tally of incidents in turn 2, my hands, I would need more fingers for my hands.
It's been enough time on this track for these drivers to know just how treacherous it is and how not to push it. Now, here's a situation where some drivers will think about and actually come down pit road for fresh tires. If they're already in the back of the field, you might as well get some fresh tires, hope that it goes green, and hope that it gives you a chance at picking up a net gain in positions before this race is all said and done. It's been a David Duke show tonight. Just unbelievable stuff for him. Cameron Westenberg, he's had a really solid run here tonight. Has been around some incidents, has done a good job at avoiding almost all of the incidents. And that GoatLocker Racing 32 machine is currently in 9th place. Highest running position is 8th. It's a gain of 14 spots from where he started this one.
It's hard too, especially with all these cautions here tonight, trying to avoid those wrecks and not getting very many green flag laps to make those passes. But doing great so far. As look at the black and green number 50 of Kyle Deering. He started 15th, finds himself up a couple spots, running in 12th at the moment.
We're hearing in our headsets that DJ Line, our producer, loves the color lime green, and you know, it does stand out. It actually is bad luck in racing. That is a superstition that is very prevalent, and many people have that opinion, believe it or not. I have heard peanuts as a bad luck bringer. You know, here's a little inside story last year. Drivers do care about their paint scheme, and sometimes things will be changed up at a moment's notice to maybe get a bad run of luck. And last year, I did public relations for Chandler Smith at Colleague Racing, and there was a point midway through the year that we changed the some of the swatches of color on the Quick Tie 16 Chevy Camaro. Had a bad run of races, and then he's like, we got to go back. So we went back and immediately had a good stretch of runs from there on out. Drivers know and think about that when it comes to superstitions. It's like putting on your left skate before your right skate or something else in hockey. We're about to get back underway here. No more superstitions. It's all time for action. And Brett Bieber did a really solid job at matching with David Duke, but so does Chance Taylor right on his tail through 1 and 2. Duke, most competition he's had throughout every restart in this race. Bieber got into the outside wall out of 2. Is this now where Duke is able to skirt away?
808 though, right there on his back bumper, trying to give him all the pressure he can. And he's got the 14 of Chance Taylor now to his inside as well, trying to drive forward with all that pressure from Chance Taylor. Are right on board with the Wheaties machine. Dale Earnhardt lookalike as we got another yellow on the field. Track field. Jeez.
The field will be frozen. I know what you meant. As Bobby Germain is down into the pits and James Kaufman, you know, there is something to wrecking a lot and having your sponsors be happy because they see you on the screen. Or maybe it's it's the whole, as Bobby Germain got really loose and Lanford got into him. I mean, it has been the same group of drivers all night that have been involved in these incidents.
Everybody in this group seems to be struggling with that turn 2 monster. I don't know if Miles the Monster from Dover stopped by, but he is making it extremely treacherous out of turn 2 tonight, and fortunately it looks like it bites a couple more drivers here late in the race. This might lead us to one of our green-white checkers. We'll have to see how it plays out. As you can see, Lanford unfortunately got into the back of the number 13 coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, quite upsetting for some of those drivers there that, you know, we're hoping for a long green flag run. Germain got loose. You didn't quite see it from that perspective. Lanford, I mean, he's just going for it later in the race. And, hey, he'll pick up some positions because of that entire mess. So we'll go back to green flag racing either with 3 or 2 laps to go in this race. Might even be 3 laps if it's a quickie yellow. I don't think they're going to say 1 till green right here. So if we go to 2 laps to go with the restart, it will not be a green-white checkered attempt. It will be a naturally occurring green-white checkered. I think that's exactly what we're going to see happen, which means we still could have more calamity and more restarts in this race.
One person I'm pretty sure that just wants this race to get over with so he can get himself to the next round is that number 78 truck with Wawa colors looking like on that machine. Like you said earlier, it does look a lot like Wawa colors, and he is trying his hardest to win his way into the next round. That's the only way David Duke can get into the next round, is winning his way there, as he missed last week but was able to secure a waiver from the administration of GoatLocker Racing. Looks like 1 truck potentially getting the waiver around here. Nope, looks like everybody that's on track is on the lead lap. So, looks like no wave around. And looks like the field is doubling up right now. Looks like we're having a quick caution and getting ready to go back to green.
So we're going to go back to green flag racing with 2 laps to go here. A naturally occurring green-white checker. David Duke has led all laps so far in this race. Quite amazing performance from him tonight. We'll see if he can pull off the total race sweep. It should happen, right? That's what you got to think. But the only lap that really matters at the end of the day is the final one, the one where you take the checkered flag. 2 laps to go here. Bieber on the outside, Taylor in behind, inside row 1. Some weirdness going on in row 3. Drivers not getting fired off very easily. They storm into 1 and 2. David Duke starts to just pull away, and Bieber from second will slide into the inside wall. Caution is out, and oh my goodness, all the opportunities in the world for a fantastic finish for the 808. It's been evaporated.
Turn 2 strikes again. Unfortunately, this time it's for the 808 of Brett Bieber. just trying to get all he can off of turn 2, trying to stay relevant with the back bumper of that number 78 of David Duke. Has led every lap tonight. Fortunately, a little too much gas. Oh, just rear damage there. I would assume he's going to stay out, but unfortunately that's going to put him all the way back in 20th position. And that good run he was having there tonight is going to evaporate in one corner.
We're going to take a momentary break before we get back to green-white checkered racing here at Richmond Raceway. It's INVETS Truck Series action.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are almost ready to go here for the final 2 laps. The first green-white checkered attempt at Richmond Raceway. David Duke starting alongside Chance Taylor, and Duke fires off brilliantly. He's led every single lap and then some into this overtime period. Will he be able to complete the sweep of this race? Down the inside of Taylor is Andy Kurtz. He got loose and loses the position. Taylor clear to try and fight with Duke for this final lap. If Duke wins, he gets into the round of 8. White flag in the air. Kurtz slides down to the bottom. Taylor might need to win as well. He's not safe before everything is all said and done. But David Duke with a 5 truck length advantage going into turn 3. Taylor will dive deep into corner number 3, but has nothing on the 78 machine. Welcome to the next round. David Duke wins it at Richmond.
David Duke with an absolutely flawless race executed from the start of the race to the checkered flag. Couldn't have asked for a better performance when you needed to lock yourself into the next round with a win. And the number 78 of David Duke is going to do just that.
What a fantastic job for him in this race. And we'll stay right on your screens as we took that momentary break before getting ready for that first green-white checkered attempt. Duke, he's probably going to burn it down until there's no tires, fuel, or engine life in that truck. But we will talk to him in just a little bit. Race results should be all ready to go in just a few moments. This is the most boring burnout I've ever seen from David Duke. But it doesn't matter because race results are ready to roll with David Duke, of course, getting the race win, and that will push him into the round of 8. Needed to win, did just that. Chance Taylor in second. That might be enough to get him in. It should be enough to get him into the next round. Jeremy Gardner, Andy Kurtz, and Michael McCarthy, your top 5. Cliff Adams, Benjamin Stevens, Travis Bieber, George Jewell, a good recovery for Jewell, and Benjamin Stevens, by the way, as well as Tyler Justice finishing in the top 10. In 11th, Craig Bontrager finishes, and Scott Gilroy, a really solid job getting back up to that position for Gilroy. Tommy Lemley in 13th. Brett Bieber, what could have been? He finishes back in 14th. Kendorian Davis, that's going to be close for playoff possibilities. He's in 15th. James Kaufman, Colton Lanford, and Charles Abert, 18 drivers on the lead lap. Kyle Deering finishes 1 lap down. Cameron Wessenberg had a good run until the end. Finishes 4 laps down in 20th. Bobby Germain, Andrew Player, Johnny Cofield, Brandon Wallace, Lucas Lyons, all finishing this race. Jeremiah Holt did not take the green flag here in this one. So just about time before we talk to the drivers in this one post-race. None of them have... we can grab one of them right now. David Duke is going to join us here. And David, you got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, boys?
What's going on, man? Long time no talk. Congratulations on the win to get yourself into the round of 8. It was maybe not the most exhilarating race, but hey, it did the job for you.
I thought it was fantastic. What do you mean?
Well, it was a nice parade, I guess you could say.
It was a parade. I was worried there at the end because Jeremy had those fresh tires and God, I wasn't a fan of the race control call of shortening up that caution. It was something we hadn't done all night. I don't know why we started that, but that robbed us. That kind of tightened things up more than I wanted it to. But everything worked out all right.
You know, there were a few restarts there where you had competition, but as long as you started on the inside of row 1, controlled those restarts, you felt like you were in pretty good shape?
Yeah, I did. Now, those last few restarts, man, they were on their game. Made me sweat it a bit, but I knew if I could clear them getting into 1 to kind of get my angle down into 1 that I could make hay.
Well, David, I'm going to give you the opportunity to thank your partners. Who do you have to thank for this night's effort?
Yeah, I got a lot of people. Keith Says Yes Motorsports. Everything that he does for me to help me race and stream and everything. I appreciate everything that he does. Allie at MVV Travel Co. Everybody here at GoatLocker, INVETS, Maconi, just everybody that makes this go along. Veterans for Life. All my guys over there at High Velocity Sim Racing, Scotty, Ben, Charles, all those guys. It's a pleasure to run with them. I can't thank enough.
Well, David, congratulations. We'll see you in a couple weeks' time when we get back going again for the round of 8.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one. Thank you. I like Iowa too.
Hey, there we figured. We definitely figured that. David Duke likes Iowa. He likes the short tracks, and he definitely enjoyed that race for him. All right, Jeremy, you're standing alongside our P2 finisher and Chance Taylor.
Chance Taylor finishing second here tonight in that number 14 truck. Man, it was a wild one there for basically the battle from second on back was pretty crazy. David Duke was kind of in his own zone. What did you need there to get to the back of the 78 and maybe make a pass for the win?
I'd say some new tires. I was pretty loose those last few restarts, but I was happy to bring it home second. I know Andy had me on the inside there on the green and white checkered and able to hold him off and at least come back P2.
You come back P2. I'm not sure that puts you in the playoff position. Hopefully that puts you in a good spot. We'll see how it plays out here in the next few minutes. But coming home second, it's going to be a good finish for you here at Richmond with all this chaos. Who do you have to thank for getting you here?
I'd like to thank Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, GoatLocker, Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit Brewery, Cruisin Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Veterans for Life Racing, INVETS, Jam Printing and Promotions, Maconi Setup Shop, V-Speed, NASCAR 360, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, and Above the Yellow Line.
Congratulations on your finish. It looks like I just got word that you did advance to the next round. We'll see you in a few weeks at Iowa.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys.
Congratulations, Chance Taylor, your second place finisher here tonight. And as we finish up there with Chance Taylor, we will grab our third place finisher here tonight of Jeremy Gardner in that third position. Jeremy Gardner, welcome to the interview booth. I really wanted to get this interview, man. You finished third. You almost made it back to where you went out off on that pit strategy. It almost didn't work out for you, but it obviously worked out enough to get yourself in third place, man. Walk us through that decision.
Really, that decision was just based on cautions. I kept seeing all the cautions fly, and eventually I was just going to try a new strategy and try and come out with newer tires because I figured caution. I would have the newest tires come to the end. That almost worked out for me, but unfortunately it didn't. I mean, it was fun coming through the field and missing that big pile up in 3 and 4, so I tried my damnedest to get up there, but it just didn't work out.
You definitely gave an honest effort. When I saw you turn down the pit road and nobody else went with you, I knew you were going to have a task ahead of you, but you came all the way back to third spot, almost where you were when you came out. You had to do something different than David Duke, obviously. Like you said, it almost worked out. Congratulations on your third place finish. Who do you have to thank for getting you here?
Of course, JLR, Jamie, Pat, Daniel for putting on this Sunday series. Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit Brewery, Cruisin Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, INVETS, Jam Printing Promotions. You guys, of course, putting the broadcast on. We appreciate you. V-Speed, NASCAR 360, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, and my guys over at Premier Racing Setups.
Good stuff for Jeremy Gardner. You're a third place finisher. We'll see you in a couple weeks at Iowa.
Sounds good. See you there.
Wow, Dylan. What a night of racing. As we get ready, we're going to take that quick break for our American holiday of Thanksgiving. We're going to bring it to Iowa. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting more of the same that we saw tonight. This track surface in Iowa is a little bit different. It's a little bit bigger than Richmond. It's a little bit wider and a little bit rougher, but the banking being steeper as well, it all is going to shake out to be, I think, relatively a similar story to tonight. I think you go into that one, as long as David Duke's there, he will be competing for the chance to make it into the championship 4 race. Now, before we go here, we know the 8 that have advanced. McCarthy, Duke, both race winners. George Jewell, Chance Taylor, Colton Lanford, Kendorian Davis, Tyler Justice, and Benjamin Stevens advance into the next rounds. So who doesn't advance, obviously, is James Kaufman, who was under that line going into it. Brandon Wallace, who is above the line going into it, does not advance. And continuing to look through here, Andrew Player does not advance either. He was plus 14 coming into tonight. Completely negates that good run that he had last weekend. A rough go of things for him, but sometimes that's just how it comes to it. GoatLocker Racing. It's a lot of fun. You can always make sure to check out those broadcasts. Taking a bit of time off for Thanksgiving in the United States. This has been a Maconi Entertainment production. From myself, Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs alongside me, and DJ Lyon in the production booth. A win for David Duke moves him on to the next round. We'll see you in a couple weeks' time. Good night and good racing.